Ontario Premier Doug Ford says his province isn't backing down from its ban on American alcohol anytime soon. That despite calls from a U.S. liquor group to put American booze back on Canadian shelves.
If there's a deal, another USMCA deal, which I don't think is going to happen for the next few months, but you never know with President Trump. He could pull the carpet out from underneath us in a heartbeat like he has before, or they get rid of their tariffs, and then we'll bring the booze back into the LCBO. And if they don't, then they aren't getting any booze on our shelves.
Chris Swonger is the president and CEO of the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, and he joins me now. Hi, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Ontario Premier Doug Ford said today that the province does not have any plans to bring American alcohol back. He is taking a hard line. He says until the American tariffs are lifted or there's a renegotiated free trade deal, there will be no U.S. booze. What's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, first and foremost, let me say how much we appreciate the Prime Minister Carney's efforts last Friday to remove the tariffs on American distilled spirits and American whiskey. Those tariffs have been on for about 6 or 7 months, and the U.S. hadn't applied tariffs in return, and we're thankful of that. So great leadership by the Prime Minister for sure. And let me just say, on behalf of the distilled spirits industry, and I would invoke that the Canadian and the U.S. distilled spirits industry is an industry of one. Many Americans love great Canadian whiskey, just like many Canadians appreciate and love American whiskey as well. And look, I recognize there's a lot of emotions invoked in the broader national politics going on between our two great governments, but this industry is really should be immune from all of that. And it's providing economic harm, no doubt, to American distillers who love the Canadian people and want to export their great brands and share these great distilled spirits products with Canadian people. And at the same time, many Americans love Canadian distilled spirits as well. So I recognize there's a lot of emotion, but this industry really should be immune from it because it's affecting the hospitality economies for both the great country of Canada and the United States.
Are you putting any pressure on the Trump administration to drop the tariffs that they have placed on Canada and to make nice with our country?
Listen, we're working very, very hard trying to help the Trump administration appreciate and understand the importance of our industry as it relates to here in the United States, of course, but also because we're an industry of distinctive products. And we're not widgets. There are broader issues that are being debated related to energy, lumber, dairy, and all of the above. In the little old distilled spirits industry, we try to stay in our lane, but we are doing our best to help the Trump administration understand how our industry is an industry of distinctive products, and we're an industry that is intertwined together. And we are working very closely with Spirits Canada, and that is the Distilled Spirits Council's counterpart, where we're a line of one. And we know there and appreciate that there's a lot of emotion. When I've participated in some of the media in Canada, I've gotten a lot of tough emails back. And I'm just, the best way to kind of bring things back together is an American and Canadian to have a great Canadian whiskey and a great American whiskey and have a cocktail together. And hopefully our two governments can do that in due course.
Speaking of those tough emails, the U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hoekstra, said President Trump thinks Canadians are mean and nasty for leading a liquor boycott. Is that how you feel? Are Canadians mean and nasty for saying no to American booze?
No, of course not. No. Our brothers and sisters from Canada, we're all one big North American family, and the economic harm on both sides of the border are significant. We understand as the provinces, at least some of the provinces have committed to taking and keeping American distilled spirits out of the state stores. even though we appreciate Saskatchewan and Alberta, they've decided to reverse that. The provinces have lost 500 million in Canadian dollars in revenue because distilled spirits bring a lot of revenue to the government, right? And and our business has been impacted by 65% here in the United States. But we also understand Canadian distilled spirits has been impacted by 12%. So it's economic harm on both sides of the border. And this industry is a precious industry, hardworking people. And, I understand that Premier Ford had made those comments today and not planning to act until a trade agreement is negotiated, but our industry has thrived on both sides of the border without trade barriers and without tariffs for many, many, many years. And I had the privilege of representing many of great American distilled spirits products, Canadian distilled spirits products. And I'm telling you, in your great audience, this industry shouldn't be involved. We can be an easy target because the iconic nature of our industry, but we do hope the provinces would really reconsider and let's get back to making toast as opposed to imposing tariffs on both sides of the government.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes. Thank you, Chris Swonger, president of the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States. I appreciate you coming on, sir, and sharing your thoughts.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you. God bless.